Welcome to the Crimeycade. I'm the mega conservative crime fighter, Tayllor Lucas, and this is episode. Let me get my banners up here. Man, where are my banners? Here's my banners. Episode 32 of the podcast, the Crimeycade. Well, I got a little bit of news to run down before we bring our guest in, and got a little bit of footage to show off as well. So let's begin. Well, this is still ongoing. They were back in court this week, and there's been a lot of analysis videos put out by Law Understood Simply. Very most recent video that he posted on his YouTube channel. Carl actually chimed in to clear up a misconception about his legal team, and basically what Billy Mitchell has to do to win the lawsuit against Carl Joves. We did find out this week that Carl actually offered a settlement to Billy Mitchell, and Billy turned it down. So now, in addition to Mitchell winning the case, he would have to also win a judgment higher than the settlement offer for him to, I guess, be declared the full winner of the suit, the defamation suit, which is over the accusations of, or the defamation of comments he made about Apollo Legend, is not about the high scores, apparently. So it's just about the defamation surrounding the death of Apollo Legend. Sad situation there, but that is ongoing, and I'm kind of waiting to see where it goes from here. And supposedly they're back in court actually today, because today is Friday in Australia. So everybody can be back in court and see if this gets wrapped up relatively soon. And then the judge in the case in Australia has to decide who decide the case on the merits. High score update. We'll start off with FunSpot. You know, FunSpot created Orcade. However, last several years, there's not been many scores submitted from FunSpot. Now, they had a tournament recently, so scores did get entered into Orcade, and one of them happened to be a new high score for an obscure Atari game known as Destroyer. If you've never seen it, and I've only seen one copy of this, although it wasn't operational, I basically saw the cabinet. So I had to go. It was down in of all places, Centralia, Illinois, at I think a thrift store that's non-clothing, a non-clothing thrift store. If you've never seen the game, it kind of plays like Depth Charge. Although now you have to line up the mines to hit the submarines. So the mines explode on the line going up and down the screen for you to adding an extra dimension of difficulty to the game. But Nora Bartkowski got the high. 2,275. I don't believe there's any scores entered on Twin Galaxies on this game. And this might be a game that my guest is going to be on the lookout for very soon. Also, Galvin Ghost Arcade, Jose Quez retook the house high on Firefox, breaking the 200,000 mark 3 days ago, basically last Monday. Tony DeRose upped his high score on Sky Kid with almost 275,000. Ryan Revert took negative 16 on the Skins game, 16 under par, that is. And Chris Plackey, as I'm about to be interrupted, has set a speedrun record on Mortal Kombat 4, just under 5 minutes and 35 seconds. And this goofball, I have been joined by a crazy cat when I just taking a seat on my lap. Well, if he pops his head up, I will address him in a second. Want to wish a happy birthday to one Mossie's Hagopian. His birthday is tomorrow. Unfortunately, scary moment for him last weekend that he was in a serious car crash. He was hit by another vehicle who apparently didn't see him on I-90. His car got totaled. He got seriously injured. He says in a Facebook post that he suffered 3 broken ribs. He's on medications to reduce the pain. So, unfortunate for Mossie's. Yeah, he's on the mend. Hopefully we'll see him around the arcade soon again, sometime in the future. He's been one of the long-standing gamers at the Galvin Ghost Arcade, and one of the folks that you thought would have had a reign as the Gamer of the Year. But he has not, surprisingly. Maybe he can in the future, but he says his time is so short or limited that he hasn't been able to make a serious second run at the Gamer of the Year title. But kind of as a salute to Mossie's, I wanted to share one of his legendary promos at the arcade. Now, with Blade Wars tournament, I've been cutting promos, and they're going to be doing awards next week, and I'm in the running for the best promos at Blade Wars. So I consider this promo very legendary, and I think you'll enjoy it too. It's quite fun, quite serious and hilarious at the same time, so I hope you enjoy.
So, would you like to say some stuff?
Yes, I would.
All right.
So, yeah, you can step aside.
Dude, I'm going to take both belts from you myself.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about this 10X belt lately. Somehow it's not as meaningful. A lot of people back here just dismissing it, choosing not to participate. We got a man named Tayllor Lucas deciding to call people out.
We got the default champion. Default.
Calls out Matt Rocco, Matt Walters, Fred DeHart. What do these guys all have in common? 2011, 13, 14 has-beens from the past. Not relevant anymore. And the king of all of them, Tayllor Lucas, 1991. What have you done in the last 25 years? Nothing. Nothing. Calls out Fred DeHart. What does Fred DeHart do? Respond to the challenge? No. Yeah, he did. Hides behind his goon, Pete Gores. Passes it along. Pete Gores, a few weeks ago, going for the 10X belt, has to leave. Sorry, I got to go take care of my dog. Where's the priorities here, man? Come on. His dog. He just got married. You know, Pete Gores, these are just excuses. You're scared. You can't compete. You're last year, you're yesteryear, you're a nobody. You know, you walk around the arcade nowadays and you ask a random patron about Matt Rocco. What is that person going to say? You know what they're going to say? Who the hell is Matt Rocco? Who the hell are you? You walk around, they might say, what the hell is a DeHart? You go up and you ask them about Mossy Segopian. You might hear, oh, I know Mossy, he's the ace of Atari. Or you might hear he's the Sultan of Sega. Or the two-time King of Scream champion, the self-proclaimed stalwart of Stern, your reigning hardcore champion, 10X champion. So now, as your reigning hardcore champion, this belt is defended whenever I'm here, and I don't care who you are, and I don't care if it's the Galloping Ghost, Retrocade, Pixel Bass, Lip Bar, wherever it may be.
Well, it's just Galloping Ghost.
It doesn't matter. We pick a random game. Random game. It could be Mega Man, Spider-Man, Domino Man, Batman. I'm the man. And you guys are all living in the era of Moss.
You heard it here. some big words. We shall we shall see if he leaves with both belts by the end of the night.
All right. Wow, that was incredible. That is legendary. That is a legendary promo from January 2017, kind of when I started. Oh gosh, this guy. Say hello. Cody has crashed the stream again. That's what he does. He wants his attention. He's a attention whore. Yeah, this goof. What? He bit me hard. He blindsided me last night. He just like lunged for this elbow and took a bite out of it. Ugh. Anyway. So he was at Underground Retrocade last night. Is that true? Yeah, he wants his attention. Yes. Yes, it's right here, Mossies. We need more promo. We need promos, and I've suggested to him that he should join the Blade Wars tournament and cut promo just to cut promos. Even if he's not going to win, just cutting the promos. That's what we need. And you wanted to know what the Monday Mystery Game while under the tarp was rock and rope that day. So well, let me throw these up here. Let me run through this real quick. Well, Moses is still sitting at fifth place in the token count. Andrew is still trying to catch James White and got a little closer. Now he's within 200 from catching James White for the Professor Token Taker spot. And of course, the chase for the power rankings. Andrew's still trying to get to 200 high scores, and one of his scores got taken. So let's see what comes next. Ninja Gaiden, One Up Arcade, yes, took it home pretty easily with that world record run. Jim Patzer put up an impressive 300,000 score on Ninja Gaiden. And the new game of the month for October. And Mossie's did put a score in. Good grief. Yeah, I can't keep a good gamer down, can you? Mossie's is back at it. Incredible. Yes. Oh, they're having a charity tourney Thanksgiving weekend. I'm gonna have to look into that. Because been wanting to enter more game tournaments. Yes, we're going to have to go to the underground. I haven't been underground in years. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Nope, I'm going to move this up. All right. I'm going to drop the... I am going to stop the screen, and I'm going to bring up the next screen in a second. But without further ado, and welcome Tracy to the stream. Without further ado, I was originally supposed to have him on last week. He sent me a message saying that he was going to be heading out of country for a bit and would have a story to share on that when he got back. Well, see, King Cam's pointing out something. We'll address that in a second. Welcome in on the podcast. He's the collector of the rare and obscure 70s and 80s games. He calls himself the Dillistweed. I'm going to find out how he got the nickname. And are we related? I don't know. We might be. We'll have to transverse the family tree to find out. But welcome in, Tayllor Lucas.
So,
how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Well, let's have at it. Yeah, before the cat crashes the stream again.
So do you want the story about the name the Dillistweed first?
Yes, let's start off with that.
Well, it was originally just going to be Dillweed. See, when I was in high school, people said that a lot, hey, dillweed, hey, ding dong, hey, all this, that, whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick with that dillweed. So I tried putting that into YouTube, and there's like 50 different dillweeds, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm the dillest of all of you then. So there we go. That's how that name came about.
So so the dillweed, before you went looking up who all had it, that originated from what?
Oh, Beavis and Butthead. I think that's how people started saying it in high school.
Okay. So how we connected with each other? I'll go there. Gosh, I gotta get rid of that PowerPoint presentation. Let me pull this screen up because how we made a connection was an obscure arcade game, and it was this game. Once I get this up, because I can share browser windows.
Hey, I know that game.
Enigma 2. And the first encounter I had with this game was Jason Kopp brought it to Chicago at a arcade convention. And then Jimbo Slice, James White, with Walter Day in the house, he ran up 15,000 on this game. I got about 10,000. So they had that copy. This is by Game Plan. I'm going to have this kind of low because I'm hearing.
I love how the MAME has not improved the sound emulation.
MAME, yeah. You know, I don't even remember how it sounds like for real.
It's just really slow. The sounds have a different processor and all that. I think the speed's like really slow in MAME, and it just needs to be sped up. But yeah.
So the second time I encountered this game was down in Texas. I believe it's owned by. Gosh, I got their coaster, and now I had their coaster. It's gone. Oh, it's right here. Free Play Dallas has one of these in their collection. They brought it to the Let's Play Expo, which was helped organized by another prior guest I had, Christian Dithering. So they had one. And some other game-playing games. So the third time I encountered an Enigma cabinet got your attention. And it was at the Midwest Gaming Classic. There was a Tetris in it.
Oh.
I saw the cabinet, and I was like, I knew exactly what it was because I've seen it a couple times before, and it was like, do they know what they have? And I went looking for the auctioneer and let him know what this was, and then I tried to find the owner, the seller, and let him know what he had, because Enigma, there's only a handful, literally, of these around.
It sucks how many of those got converted to other games. So many.
Yeah. When the buyer, and I let them know the buyer what he had. Now, I didn't get the name of the buyer. You messaged me asking how to contact the buyer, and I didn't have that because didn't know you were looking for it. I just basically posted a picture and asked in one of the arcade groups and pretty much asked the readers what cabinet that came from. Fast forward. So Atlanta, Illinois, and actually the Arcadia, John Yates, had another Enigma 2 cabinet. He had it for auction, but it had Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf in it. which was another obscure arcade game, ironically. So you have been trying to build an Enigma. From photos I've seen, you did succeed. So kind of tell me the story of the journey you had in building an Enigma or restoring one.
Right. So, ever since I started, all right. So, ever since I started collecting, I had 3 grails in mind. All right. It's Sega Pulsar, Jump Bug, and Enigma 2. I was able to get Pulsar somehow. I had to piece it together. I got Jump Bug somehow. And that's really the issue with a lot of these rarer games like Pulsar and stuff like and Enigma 2. If you find one complete, consider yourself super lucky, because most people are you're gonna have to piece one together. They all got converted. So this one, and by the way, I actually told John Yates what he had, and then he put it up for sale because I contacted him through he had it up for eBay. He just had it as a Trevlatine or Fighting Golf. And,
yeah.
I almost said Trevlatino. But anyway, yeah, he had it up there. I told him, hey, would you mind just kind of selling this for not $3,000? And he said, yeah, no. And I'm like, okay. But so I bought the artwork. I already had the artwork. I bought it from a guy in Germany. And I think the guy in Germany bought the artwork because he had a dream from America. So went from America to Germany back to America. And then finally, John Yates listed that cabinet on the Arcadia auction. And I was bidding against someone who wanted that cabinet because, I don't know, is Fighting Golf really worth $750? I don't know. But that's how much I paid for that cabinet. So I'm up $300 for the artwork, and I'm up $750 for the cabinet. And as soon as I got that cabinet home, I put all the original artwork back in it, and that's how I got that picture with the basketball, because that's the other game I bought from that auction. And yeah, now I have a board for it, but it's having resetting issues, but other than that, it's ready to go. The monitor's good. I have all the lighting worked out. All the wiring's good. So, yay. It's a really fun game.
Now, Jump Bug, so that was my choice for the game to add to the arcade floor at Galloping Ghost when I won Gamer of the Year.
Nice.
It's like they added games that were already on the floor. There was this game that John Jacobson did a restore series on. GGA didn't have it yet, so I chose that one. And they found a Jump Bug. They put it in the T20 tournament. And it had board issue, or it had some sort of issue, and the game was down not long into the tournament. I got a couple plays in, but they had to pull that game out of the tournament, and it had to be, I guess, the T19. But fast forward to anniversary, when it was basically the end of my reign as Gamer of the Year, and it gets passed on to the next Gamer of the Year. That game was unveiled as one of the games for unveiled on anniversary day. So it was good. I also saw a video that you beat the arcade score that's out there, or at least Galloping Ghost score. So I stopped chasing scores on that game because they added a rule where you can't touch the same money bag more than once during the cycle of levels, because there was other gamers would sit at a spot where the money bag respawn, but they just sit there and just kill bats that are coming out. And then
the pyramid? Yeah, no. So the pyramid level sucks. I can't stay in there for too long. The bats will just kill you. That's what they're programmed to do. I don't know if there's a way to like just go to Point City in there, but I've never found any way to get higher than 260K.
Yeah, well, so I would basically transverse the pyramid until the bats sped up, and then that was the time to get out.
Yeah, it's go time.
Though somebody else claimed, well, the bats never speed up. Yes, they do.
They do. Oh, yeah, they do.
Anyway, Tracy Gleave. Yes, Tracy Gleave has been to Free Play. Of course, she's from Great Britain. And working in the chat, KG.
Jump Bug, very good times.
Yes. Yeah. So the other game, and I'm going to put this up. Share screen. Oh, here we go. This is Pulsar.
Such a cool game.
I had not heard of this one. It's by Sega.
I went all the way to FunSpot in 2015 just to play this game, and their soundboard wasn't working. And I was like, that's like half the fun. But maybe it's working now. But this game is still like great.
So you're driving the tank and you're just shooting, I guess.
3 types of defenders. That's what the instructions say. The Pulsar, which is that lad, he won't kill you, but he will try to block you. And when you blow him up, there's more defenders to fire at.
It looks like you gotta chase after a key.
Mm-hmm.
And these walls open and close.
And he did it consecutively. Nice.
Well, I know Galvin Ghost doesn't have this. I don't know if this is on the radar, but okay, you touched the
There
key.
was one for sale in California. He wanted $1,200 for it. It was complete, and I think that's pretty good considering how hard it is to find these.
Yeah. I wonder if that came from that Banning California auction.
I wonder if even Banning had one.
I know they when they did the auction, they put pictures of everything they had for sale. I don't remember this particular game, but there was
Banning had some winners. Banning had a samurai, so it's possible.
Well, they also had Space Tactics. That's another Sega game.
I have that one.
Meadow Lanes, you have that one. They had that one.
I just got a Meadows Laser Command. That's what I went to Canada for. So that's a nice little couple of games. They'll look the same.
So let's jump to that. You went up to Canada. So
yeah, I forgot that I made this deal with one of my friends, and Canada's like 7-hour trip for me, 7.5-hour trip. And I have been putting it off for too long, and I already paid for this stuff. I just have to go and get it.
This is good.
But yeah, no, Laser Command wasn't. It was probably the most significant thing I brought back. But I also brought back several boards. Did my camera cut out?
I still hear you. However,
oh, there we go.
Stopping a little bit.
Yeah. So I brought back several boards from this operator who had been operating since the 70s, I want to say. So I brought back some really interesting boards I have to test, and hopefully get them running.
I know you're trying to build a tranquilizer. I can't even say it.
Yeah, so that's a game Galloping Ghost has.
Yeah, they had a hard that's been rough to keep up and running. They had to track down another board to get that thing back up and running. And now they have it, they have something to compare to troubleshoot the other board with.
So I have a Borderline, which was the story with Borderline and Tranquilizer Gun and Car Hunt 2 is pretty funny. So all of these cabinets started out as Car Hunt, and that game flopped. It's basically color head-on, but it's kind of a good game. That game flopped here. They converted them all to Tranquilizer Guns, which look great, looks really cool. That game flopped, and then they converted them all to Borderline, and that game flopped. And then they just gave up. Yeah. But no, Tranquilizer Gun is really cool. Borderline shares a lot of the same artwork and the same soundboard. It's mostly just a ROM swap. But yeah, no. You
a T20 game. It.
I don't think this guy knows how to play. Oh, no, yeah, he definitely doesn't know how to play.
Demo, I think. But so I didn't know you had to tranquilize all 4 ammos, not taking them back to the truck. I think
to get to the next round.
Yeah.
I found that out by accident.
Yeah, that's like that. Okay, I grabbed an ammo, took it back to the truck.
Because the game encourages you to take them back.
Yeah, and okay, why can't I complete this level? And then I was like, I'm out of gas, this. It's like, okay, how do I progress?
And after you complete round 4, the game like freaks out and sends you into game over. I wonder if that's a main bug. It might just be a bad dump. I have another dump of Tranquilizer Gun. I might have to take a look at that and see if it's the same.
You said it freaks out.
So after you get past round 4 and you go on to round 5, the game freaks out, says game over, and like corrupts. It's weird. I feel like it's a bad dump, but
might be.
I have another dump of the game. I'm gonna have to check and see if it also freaks out or not.
Okay. So let's pull up Borderline because I don't think I know that one.
It's pretty cool.
Borderland, Borderline.
I think I've made that mistake too.
Borderland.
Hey, look, it's my video.
It's like that's it. No, I've never heard.
It's really
I don't
cool.
This one. You're driving the tank up and you're just shooting at. I don't even know what those are.
Well, that's one of 4 stages.
Okay.
And the demo only shows this one stage, but there's a few stages. It kind of goes from this into like a dig dug kind of style stage into a maze stage, and then it's just kind of cool.
All right, so let's go into the meat and potatoes of this interview. I guess we'll start with how you got into the hobby, or at least as a gamer, what was your hook? For me, it's Space Invaders. When I was a kid, got me into gaming. But what was your hook?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know when it started. I was like, I was like 4 years old and I was interested in arcade games. Obviously I'm only 25. So what was that like for me? Well,
5.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you're that young.
Yeah. Well, I bought my first game when I was 15.
Maybe I'm an uncle or something. I don't know.
It's just funny. It's funny. But no, so like I was like 4 years old and I had no interest in like Chuck E. Cheese or anything, but I would have friends who would like, oh, I'm gonna have my birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm like, I guess I'll play the pinball machine in the back. just because I found that fun. I didn't find redemption games fun, and I was like, where are the real arcade games? There are none. The early 2000s was like a dead zone for arcades. So it's just something I always knew existed, but I had no frame of reference. I don't know. It's a mystery. At least it's what it feels like.
Is having an issue. Let's see if we can get resync. I mean, I'm still hearing you, but your video's frozen. There we go. Let's see if we can get this fixed a second. You might have to leave and rejoin. Now it's just
I
a
can
blue
if you want.
Yeah, let's try it. We'll catch up on comments here. Another game called Pulsar, but that's a shooter on. See, Polestar. So not quite the same Pulsar, but Polestar here. Hopefully Taylor's internet is coming back. There we go.
Yeah, I really
got you back.
My terrible internet. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go fix that. I know how to fix that.
All right, let's take a. I'm gonna hide this over here. Let's get a good look at his game. Yeah, I see Robbie Roto, Kangaroo, Defender. Not sure what this one is on the left.
There we go. We should have good internet now.
Okay.
I had to convince the modem to function.
To
see how well that works out.
I switched to AT&T Fiber like a year ago, and
it's a really good idea.
It's a major upgrade. Okay, going back to Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese was back in my day, but the games in the Chuck E. Cheese kind of a night and day difference now. And
it's a kid's casino.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of redemptions. There's a lot more of that in arcades these days. There's also
nowadays it's just a what do they call it? A sensory overload, perhaps. Rain Rod Alley. Yeah, I like video games.
There's all sorts of arcade games, video games, some pinball, hardly any redemptions. Like Springfield, Illinois, our Chuck E. Cheese does only have, I would say, actual video games was about less than a dozen. Redemptions, more than a dozen, maybe 2 dozen. But Pac-Man's, your Donkey Kongs, forget it. You're going to be playing games like, I don't know, Batman, the driving game. See, what else? What else?
You know what? That's one thing that I remember seeing in 2000s Chuck E. Cheese were like 3D driving games. I guess like Hydro Thunder or something. That didn't interest me either. Or I can't. The green one. I don't know the name of it. I think it's like Fury something. No, not a fan.
Puts games in there like Terminator Salvation. What else? Yeah, some driving games, of course. Cruising World. Obviously, Skee Ball is still there because that's timeless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of redemptions.
That's the thing, though. That's why Skee Ball is timeless, because there's skill involved, unlike redemption games.
Around Springfield, my city, we're kind of known in some ways like Little Vegas because there's gambling pyros everywhere. It's like they call that video gaming.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. If it's not video gaming unless it involves a joystick.
This gas station has video gaming? All right, let's go in.
Yeah, the ironic thing also, gas stations had a few video games in there. Of course, they pulled them out because certain individuals were like pickpocket or shoplifting items while they were playing, while the attendant was not looking.
Blame it on the video game.
Stores had them. Gosh, Famous Bar actually had an arcade in it back in the 80s. There was obviously arcades all over the place in the 80s.
I heard stories about one of the arcades that was here in town called Andy's Arcade. Not to be confused with the dude in California. But apparently they had an interesting, it wasn't just your average 80s arcade. Well, it was in the 80s, but they apparently had a live puma.
A puma?
A live puma. And they had, my dad remembers a game, Lupin the Third, the Taito game. And I'm just like, you're joking. No, I played that. What? That's the game you remember? Not Joust? No, I remember Joust. You remember Lupin the Third. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that one. He's like, well, describe the game. Oh, you come in on a helicopter on this building, and the game becomes a maze game. You got to take money bags to the bottom of the screen. I'm like, yeah, that's Lupin the Third.
One Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
Obviously, the game. Most people's first experience with Lupin the Third was the Stern Laserdisc game called Cliffhanger. And Taylor is frozen, unfortunately. We'll wait for him to come back. Oh, are you back? Okay.
I'm really sorry. It doesn't usually do this.
And looks like Lupin the Third got captured by Venegata.
He's aware. He has seen the show.
Yes, I've seen the show. It was on Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, years ago. But yeah, Cliffhanger. So the demo's off. Let me pull the other one up. Galloping Ghost does have this one. That would be this one.
There we go.
The movie where they pulled footage from is on YouTube in its entirety and does not cost to watch. I recommend watching that film because almost all the scenes except for one sequence came from Castle of Cagliostro, or however you pronounce it. I'd have to have
Cagliostro
here. Yeah. I can't pronounce this. Cagliostro. Yeah, Mystery Amato, yes. But so we're familiar with this game. Galloping Ghost has it. But there's one more Lupin the Third game that's out there. Let's see if we can pull that up. That would be this one. There was a shooting game. And I believe this was Japan only. So basically, yeah, you're shooting enemies. And yeah, we got the intro scene here. So Lupin's in the train. Yep, we got the good old sound effects. Like you're watching the TV show. Now, this is fun. You see Lupin and Jigen, not Jigen, gosh, I forgot his name. I remembered his name. Anyway, the crack shot character in the hat. Anyway. Oh, and there's cutscenes in here too. Yeah, Lupin, of course, is robbing a train and shooting all these guys.
I didn't think Lupin shot people.
Well, for this particular game, yeah. Lupin has killed some men. Well, Lupin has killed some of his foes. I know that much. It's actually the whole anime series you can get on Pluto TV. There's in the anime section, there's a channel fully that's just all Lupin episodes and several different series. So I have watched some of that earlier, like a couple of weeks ago. Like there's nothing else on. I just watched series that came out in 2018. Now my other cat has joined me. She wants in here. You want up here? Come on up here. Ugh. Jigen's the samurai. I for some reason slipped my mind. The Crackshot character or his right-hand man. Anyway, this guy up here.
I thought that was Jigen. I forget the samurai character's name. Something starting with an M. It's been a long time.
Yeah. My memory's kind of slipping here. Anyway, take that one down. So you're not sure. So you're not sure what game you played first. You were 4 years old, so memory's kind of fuzzy.
I don't know. For me, it was just something that was just always there. I don't know. Maybe I'm an old soul or something.
But at some point, you started remembering during childhood the game that you got the most enjoyment of back then, or at least as you were growing up and entering grade school. Do you have any idea what you were playing back then?
I mean, at that time, I guess I enjoyed a little bit of Pac-Man, sure, but I wasn't really exposed to the whole broad arcade lexicon. I guess that's the right word. That's the word we're going with. Until I got into MAME and I figured out how MAME worked back in like 2012, because that's when I got an internet connection, and then all hell broke loose. But yeah, so all I had exposure to were the little plug and play games. Other than my parents going to arcades like every month, at least once a month in the 80s. It's just been a fascination in the back of my mind, and now it's everywhere else.
So what was the first? So you started your arcade collection. What was your first acquisition?
Really funny story. Our hardware store in town. I live in a small town, so we just have one hardware store. I was going to get like an Atari. I was going to get like a coaxial connector to RCA connector adapter, because I was selling an Atari to one of my friends, and I was going to switch out the box for the little adapter. And I told the guy working there this, and he's like, Atari, hey, do you want to buy a Stratovox machine? You want to buy a Stratovox machine? I'm like, what? Wait, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I got a Stratovox machine. You probably don't know what that is. And I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. That's the game with the voices. Help me, Lucky. He's like, holy crap, you do know what this is. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good game. He's like, yeah, I'll give you like $200, or I'll let you buy it for $200. And I'm like, okay, I'm only 15, but let's do it.
Okay, so 9 years ago, so you're 25. So this would have been 2014.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get on a game these days? It's like when
You know how hard it is to go into the pizza place in town and try to buy the Miss Pac-Man cabaret there when you're 7. You don't get taken seriously.
no. Well, at 7 years old, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to. Well, a 7-year-old doesn't have that much. Doesn't have
He thinks $5 is like
way too much money.
yeah.
I mean, I can get an arcade 1-up with Miss Pac-Man in it. That's easier. And a few more games in the same cabinet. And it works just as well, although it's not a CRT monitor. It's a flat screen monitor. Not quite the same, but close enough. Plus, the screen's angled differently, and
Well, the good news is I got my cabaret Miss Pac-Man now, so I'm happy. I'll never know what happened to that machine. It just disappeared one day, and I'm like, great.
You do have okay, so you did get it.
I didn't get that one. I got one from a warehouse raid, or not a warehouse raid. It was an abandoned arcade raid, but yeah, there was one in there.
So the other, speaking of Enigma 2, you found a 5th Enigma 2 was found, or at least, well, from my count anyway. There may be more, but the 5th one I know of, you got in a raid recently.
Yeah. So there was an Enigma 2 converted. That's words. Converted to Star Force, Tekken Star Force, and I mean I already had an Enigma 2, so I gave that one to Charlie, who's the Overtime arcade guy, and I'm gonna try to help him deconvert it. One of my friends is actually working on a repro Enigma 2 PCB that outputs to JAMA, but it's all basically it's all the original circuits with a couple updates. So it'll run the exact same. It's not even an FPGA. It's going to run ROMs, but yeah, that's coming to fruition soon. And he's using. I sent him my original board so he could reference off of it. But yeah, we're going to help him get that reproed, and get that cabinet back to being an Enigma 2.
Quite an interesting. That leads me to an interesting question. With the resurgence of classic arcade gaming, I'm kind of surprised that there aren't more repro boards. I mean, we're making repro cartridges for the Nintendo NES, the Sega Genesis, so on. Not so much arcade games.
It's weird. And the same thing for like homebrews. I would love to learn and understand how to homebrew, like for the Vic Dual hardware, which is Pulsar, or Taito 8080 hardware like Space Invaders and Lupin. I just don't have the brains to be able to do it, but you bet if I had the brains, oh yeah, for sure. But there's some repro boards out there, but not as many as I feel like there should be, and definitely not as many homebrew games on this hardware as I feel there should be.
Although if you're going to get these games, they're usually on a Pandora's Box or a Game Elf, one of those Multicade boards, and of course the 16-1 board's kind of the most common one out there. That's just Jammer Ready. Not individual one games. They just want to multicade everything.
Yeah. I guess that's partially part of the issue, but I want there to be more. I want there to be more homebrew and hacks for this stuff.
Now, if Galvin Ghost if let's say a run of Enigma boards get created, I think Doc Mack is going to want an original Enigma 2 board and not a reproduction for him to add it to the arcade floor. because the hardware may play the same, but it might not be exactly the same under the hood. The board speed might...
definitely won't be the same under the hood.
Okay.
But I feel like all the timing signals and all the logic should be the same, like down to an oscilloscope view. All of the waveforms should be the same. So I mean, it's not gonna look the same, but on an electrical level, it should be the same.
So that warehouse raid that you went on in West Virginia, I did watch that raid and then the original find, and listened to the Coin Jam podcast where some of that, I guess some details about how that raid came together, and
there were many swears.
Yeah. How this
got burnt to a crisp.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say, like, I said there were misfires, and I burnt to a crisp for that. I am frozen again.
Hang on.
That's good.
Audio's chopped up again.
Yay! I have full bars.
Ha! Good old internet. Doggone wireless. I had to battle that sort of crap today because I do tech support where I work for the state of Illinois, and cellular modem. Why is that not connecting? I've been fighting problem with my work cell phones. Like, it's got 4 bars, but it won't take calls or dial out. It's like, what's going on? I have to go outside with it. It's like pulling my daggum hair out. I was like, well, why aren't you using your desk phone? Well, I am using my desk phone. It's just, I have voicemail on the work cell, not on the desk phone. And plus, I'm on the desk phone all the time because I'm calling customers that need help. Off topic, but kind of related because you're fighting your Wi-Fi right now.
It must be a cloudy night. I'm going to blame this on you.
Yeah, you're in Indiana. I don't know. I don't think the weather's anything. I mean, all the attention's been on the hurricane down in the southeastern part of the country.
That hurricane, I know I'm in Indiana. That hurricane was powerful enough to knock out the entire town for a night.
Okay, so Helene did clip Indiana? Oh, you must be in the way in the southern part of the state.
The wind. Right? Just the wind got to us. There we go.
There we go.
Must have been a cloud.
It did. Yeah, it was windy that Friday night because I walked around downtown. I did go out in that wind, and it was a struggle to stay upright looking at the classic cars, and there's like a wind gust of 62 miles an hour. Thankfully, we dodged most. We got some rain, but thankfully
we got a little bit of rain here, but for us, it was mainly just the wind.
All right. Let's see. So Stratovox was your first acquisition. From there, what were your next acquisitions?
So from there, I actually probably one of the only things I bought off Craigslist. I know frozen again, but it was a Sega Space Attack upright, which
pull that up on your
It's never a normal game. It's just we go from Stratovox to Sega Space Attack. Yeah, it's good. It's great.
I have played it back in the day. Well, this is in color, but
yeah, mine's black and white, but very
the
similar.
color overlay is probably how it is. At least that's how I remember it, because my arcade.
black and white monitor, but yeah.
It wasn't meant to be in color, but emulation is in color.
Yeah.
You know what other game is in color that you probably didn't know what it was or programmed?
Hang on.
Space Map.
Yeah. That's an interesting story.
Uh-oh. Let's get your connection stabilized again. And I got to deal with a spammer.
It's really a shame that this is that is happening. I don't even know why.
Get rid of this clown over here. Oh, I got to type ban. I've got to get... There, I got rid of him. Sheesh. Some goofball jumped in and was like, oh, get your viewers from this. I'm like, oh. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
With Twitch. Anyway. And we lost Tayllor again. Well, let me talk about this game a little bit. So my neighbor owned an arcade. My next door neighbor had an arcade in Jacksonville, Illinois. He did have this one. And yeah, I gave this a lot of play because I was also a fan of Space Invaders.
Yeah, that's a good. No.
Oh gosh, Tayllor. We're still having connection issues. Unfortunate. I'll wait for you to get back into normal. Oh boy. All right, so he'll be back in a second. The difference on this game, yeah, after you clear the Armada, the UFO comes down and it will try to dive bomb you, and then you gotta eliminate it before it gets to the bottom. Well, I think it disappears at a certain point. Let's check up on Tayllor.
How are we doing?
Looks like it's back.
Oh, come on.
I think it's back.
I hope so. I really hope so. This never happens. But if it's working, great. Yeah.
All right. We'll let you continue on.
So, yeah, it was the black and white version of Space Attack. It's not the it's the very blocky style cabinet, but yeah, it's never a normal game with me. It's always been something weird. But no, I do like this one. It's really cool. I like the colors. It's more colorful.
Now, what made you gravitate towards the really obscure versus the common and the popular?
Well, the common and the popular, you can play that anywhere, but you may never have another chance to play. I don't know, how many Space Attacks have you seen for public play? One?
Not lately.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes.
How many Devil Fishes have you seen?
I don't think I've ever
Robbie Roto.
Robbie Roto a few times, and Galvin Ghost has it.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of one of the reasons. But another one of the reasons, I think this is the original reason that kind of morphed into how many times are you going to see this for public play. The original reason was, hey, Space Attack. There were those. There were a lot of Space Attacks out for location, or out to be words. There were Space Attacks were more common and prevalent in 80s arcades than people let on to be. And that the same goes for, like, I don't know, Piranha and Jump Bug.
Well, Piranha's kind of a hack. A pac-man.
Yeah, Piranha's weird, but it was sold by US Billiards. But yeah, it's a total weird Pac-Man thing.
The funny thing about Piranha, yeah, it's an open field Pac-Man, but yeah. Oh,
It's
I'm going to show this. Piranha's awful. Well,
Piranha's awful. It's not great. I don't like the open field concept.
well, there was a glitch where you would trap all the enemy squid in the tunnel because the graphics were kind of glitched a little bit, or well, they were glitched because it was a hack.
Mhm.
So you'd trap the red one first, and then it would just go in the tunnel, but you would like park Piranha to lure it, have it come in slowly, and then you just move up and down and left to right to get it to go up or down in the tunnel, which is not supposed to do. It's supposed to go through the tunnel left and right, but then it would get trapped, and then you would do the same with the others. And then there's like one enemy that was just like flying over top the entire maze, leaving the maze on the bottom or the left or the right and crossing over from the other side. It was, yeah, it was glitched. I had the house high. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to put the time in to run up 1,000,000 points on it. And this little girl wants to join in, so I'm going to bring her up.
That's a good
This
cat.
is my older cat. She's going to be 17.
Wow.
Yeah. She always has to hold her own against that ginger.
You said 17?
She is about 17 years old, yes. Born in
That's awesome.
late 07 to be with my grandmother, who Grandpa passed away that year, and she came along to basically give my grandma company. Unfortunately, broken foot, suffered a year later, and she passed away, and this little girl came into my house. I basically agreed to care for her from after that. My mom already had multiple dogs and cats, and she was a bit too antagonistic to one of my mom's cats. Who, I'll let your connection stabilize. Let me bring you back in when you get stabilized there. Got any questions in the chat while I'm waiting for Tayllor? There, he's back.
It's so weird. It's like I'm able to see you, and you're like perfectly stable throughout everything. I'm not. Whenever mine chops up, yours doesn't chop up. So I don't know why it does that.
So the
Like right
feeds
now.
go to StreamYard.com and then come back out. Which if my connection went down, everybody else that still has video would continue on. I'd just freeze up on my side, but the Twitch stream would not freeze up because the Twitch stream is emulating or being fed through StreamYard, which is what one of the perks is for StreamYard and why it's so popular with so many. Yeah, I forgot to mute this because it's playing copyrighted music, and I hope I don't get dinged. But the volume was super low, so hopefully that didn't happen. Playing a Led Zeppelin song, and I didn't realize it was
Nice.
doing that.
Which one?
Kashmir.
Nice.
I can't pronounce it. Kashmir, yes, Kashmir. Okay. So first five. Oh, gosh, I lost track of things here. So what is the oldest game in your collection? Release date.
Let me think. I have a Midway Leader, which is 73. It's gonna be something from 73. I'm thinking maybe Chicago Coin TV Ping Pong or Midway Leader. I have some pre-hockey Ramtech boards before they made hockey.
Uh-oh. I'll wait for your connection to stabilize again. This is from your YouTube channel, the Dillistweed at Dillistweed. What's the number? 2644. There we go. 2644.
Yeah, it's a very clean machine. I think it was home use only.
Yeah, I've never seen that. It kind of looks like four-way Pong.
It's an exact copy of Ramtech Wipeout.
Ramtech Wipeout? Okay. You also said in this video, if you touched anything on it, that you're going to get electric shock. How did that, what was going on?
So the ground plug, someone removed the ground terminal, and I had to put a new cord cap on it. So the frame became live. I guess it became live. But
short out the monitor. Or the board, for that matter.
It would make the board live, but the board would not die. But I have somehow still operational.
Your audio's out again. Boy, this stinks.
You tell me about it. It sucks. That's the story of my life. So yeah.
And you can't use StreamYard on this if you need to.
I'll think of. Let me convince it one time. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, if you got Wi-Fi on your cell. All right. Taylor's about ready to get back in here. He's switching over to cellular at the moment, trying to get the thing in position. Yeah. You know, internet has problems at times, and just happen. I've had problems on my end, despite my internet connection, but well, it's just bizarre. Well, I'm waiting for Taylor to rejoin us. I will note that I finally got my hands on this, the Guinness World Book of Records Gamers Edition. I've been hunting for this daggum book for a while. As I noted in a previous week that I got in the Guinness World Book of Records Gamers Edition. This is Campus Challenge. I announced, get it in front of there. Announced it. Gosh, I can't even see. There you go. As you can see, that's my 20-year-old self. Now, this camera can't do it justice, but this book is available on Amazon. You can get it at Walmart, Myers, Target, or Barnes & Noble and a few other places. And nothing about largest arcade in the country. Maybe we're going to have to address that next year, but this book is out, and only it is for sale for, well, retails for $15.99 at a bookstore near you. Okay, let's see if Taylor is ready. I'm going to add him back to the stage. How are we doing?
We good?
I think we're good.
All right. Hopefully I sound okay.
It's more stable than, I guess, whatever was going on with the Wi-Fi. Now I can see that game behind you.
I'm so sorry. That sucks.
So that game right there, that looks like it's lit up in pink at the moment. I can't see it.
This one?
To the other side. Yeah.
That's 10 spot.
10 spot.
Yeah.
Is that bowling?
It's actually 10 Galaxian hardware games in one.
Okay.
Axe made it.
Okay. So let's go back to where we were. When things started malfunctioning, we were talking about the oldest game in your collection that is release date,
Right.
and it was Midway's Leader. So go ahead and resume the story on that one.
Yeah, so Midway struck a deal with Ramtech to license Leader, and yeah, the big issue with that game and Midway TV Basketball, which was a year later, the power supplies are trash. So if the bottle cap transistor shorts out, it could send 12 volts to the game board, and that's no good. So a lot of those are not around because of that. They did that. Mine went open, so it didn't short out. It did the exact opposite. But I just replaced it with a 5 and 12 volt switcher, and it's good to go. I think the machine was home use only.
Yes. What is the rarest game in your collection? And that might be hard to pick. Because all of them are rare.
Rare how?
I guess probably existing copies. I don't know. It's like, was it coming back in the day? How popular was it? That might be a tough call.
I have that Sasuke versus Commander that's in an SNK cabinet. It's as original as you could get, and it's all deconverted. It used to be a poker game, but now it's Sasuke versus Commander. Apparently, somebody had played that here back in the '80s in Indianapolis, and he said it was the English version. He was a big arcade head back in 1982. That's when he played it. I also have coming to me a game I bought in Japan. It's being shipped to me. It's a game called Adventure. It's really weird. It's a game you would send your Space Invaders table into this company. They would do like a ROM swap, a little bit of a board modification, and they'd send it back to you as Adventure. It's really weird. There's no video on YouTube. There's nothing, and it's not dumped. I have to dump it. But you're two guys on a boat, and you got to save a woman from being burned at the stake. It's a black and white game. This game is real.
Yeah, I think when you get that thing, we need to do a live stream and like put a
That's what I was thinking.
Kind of like Doc Mack pulls the tarp off and says, "Adventure!" And then gameplay demos like usual. That'd be
I guess I also have a samurai that I'm deconverting, but yeah, there's a couple oddballs, couple contenders for rarest game in the collection.
Enigma 2 also one.
Yeah, Space Trek.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one either. Now I gotta look that one up.
It's another Sega game.
Oh,
it's not Star Trek.
Space Trek. Star Trek. And looks like I have it here. Yeah, that's it.
That's the one. Except this, the hardware is not emulated. There's like a backboard that creates like a gradient effect across the screen, kind of the same way Radar Scope is done.
Yes.
No, that's a crazy game.
So what is your favorite game of your collection?
I really like Invader's Revenge. I really like... I don't know. There's so many. That's not an easy one to choose. I'd say it changes. It changes. It really does. Enigma 2, when it's finished, that's going to be really high up there. But right now, I'm playing a lot of Crazy Climber, and I'm playing a lot of Invader's Revenge.
Let's see.
I can actually go out there since I'm on the phone if you wanted me to do that.
Yeah, we can actually walk around a little bit. So, yeah.
Okay.
Just a second. Actually, it's good because now we can actually tour the place a little bit.
Yeah. Walking around. Let's see how this works out. In the 9 a.m. darkness.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually I have a video of all my to turn my place up. There we go. We're in the arcade.
There's Space Tactics and Borderline. I was checking the bulb on that because the bulb was going out. Fantasy's pretty good.
Played that one.
Player's Joust. This is it's going to be Polaris, but I actually have Lupin in it right now.
Okay, so you got the board.
Yeah, and then there's British Lunar Rescue. Centipede, Targ, Intruder. There's Space Trek. Enigma 2 over here. Mega Attack, Tank Battalion, Secret Base. Okay, I forgot. This one's probably one of the rarest.
I was looking for gameplay video on that, and I could not find any.
There is none. It's a TTL game, and I got this from Bulgaria. Yeah, and I think it's the one of 2 uprights, only known to exist. And the TTL board there's no schematics, so it's a disaster. Road Race. There's the Space Attack, Uniwars, Sasuke versus Commander, which needs a marquee that I haven't printed off yet. I made one for it. Here's the Pulsar, Astro Fighter, Head-On, Depth Charge, Space Bugger, which currently is a project, but Space Bugger's up there in rarity. Invaders Revenge, just regular old Space Invaders, both the Taito version. Lost Tomb, Buck Rogers, Challenger, Pleiades, M4, Armor Attack, Basketball, Super Breakout, Galaxian, and Spatian. That's what I have here in the garage. It's pretty nice.
Chasing scores that probably aren't in the arcade or Twin Galaxies for that matter.
Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff. And then I have a Bronze Age room, but it's after that raid, I have like several boxes in there. So it's kind of scattered and disorganized. But I have a video of it.
Now, out of that warehouse raid, one game actually worked out of the warehouse.
Yeah, this one.
Kangaroo.
Of all the games. Oh, that's so goofy.
Yeah, kangaroos turn up everywhere.
I wonder why they the kangaroo. I don't know why.
I know there's somebody else who had a kangaroo and they were doing the restore on it locally. I've tried it. It's like Donkey Kong, but it's kind of hard to dodge those apples being tossed at you.
I describe the game as this. It's an answer to a question nobody asked, and the question was, can we make Donkey Kong better? That being said, I don't hate the game. I think the game is fine. I don't understand a lot of the hate it gets just because it's missing a jump button. But it's a fine game. I think it's an okay game.
Now, currently, now that you've gotten a lot of grails, is there anything in particular you're on the hunt for that you've not been able to grab yet? And what we got?
SNK Uzaku.
SNK Uzaku. How do you spell it? I'm going to pull it up.
Yosaku. That is the one game I want right now.
SK.
Yeah. That game is a can of worms. You might have to type it in. You might have to, like, see if you can search it in, like, Japanese or something, because there is a video on YouTube. It's a really cool game. But, I was bidding on a board of that in 2019. Showtime is the person I was bidding against, and I bid $5,000 on that board. I did not win it. He did. He said he would dump it. He didn't. I got the console panel for it for some reason.
I'm not having any luck.
It's a game where you're a carpenter. You're cutting down trees.
Okay.
It's a cool game.
Wish I could find it. I start keeping straight now. I don't think that's it anymore. I would have to go. You know what? I'd have to go to Arcade Museum, and maybe I'll get it that way. So SNK was the manufacturer. Let's see.
SNK was the manufacturer. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can find. I hope I can find it. If I can search the daggum. Well, while I'm looking for this, oh, here's the one. Game you acquired that you wish you hadn't.
See, there's a few of those, but I usually sell them or trade them. I would get extra I would get extra games in. Oh no, I have a really easy answer for this. Gauntlet Legends. It was a free game here in town, and it was about 500 pounds of why bother? I mean, it was free, and I sold it, but good lord, the adrenaline I was going through getting that thing on the truck, it took up the entire truck bed. I am not a fan of 90s games, and this is one of the reasons why. Actually, no, it's not true. There are some great 90s games out there, but the cabinets, it's like the cabinets just got bigger over time. 70s games, so many of them are just cabarets. 80s games, standard size. 90s games, huge. And this one's 1999, so it's
21st century games, even bigger.
Yeah. Yep.
Seen some of the
installation
one lately.
Art installations.
Yeah, exactly. So this is
like
LDS games. I'm looking through this. I did not see it unless.
Oh, Yuzaku.
Yuzaku.
If you want, I can tell you how to find it by typing in characters. I can tell you the guy's channel.
See, I would have thought this would at least have Japanese names in here too
So
on this list.
It's gonna be in there. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. It's not Yamato. I do have that one, but
yeah,
wow, it's really not. It's really not in there, is it?
To contribute to this club.
Is this game in there?
What game is that? Let me hide this.
It's about to say it.
Let's see it. I can't tell what it is.
It says Atom Smasher.
Atom Smasher. Let me see. Hold this up.
I'm gonna get yelled at for showing that.
Why would you get yelled at?
You'll see.
Who's gonna yell at you? Is that top secret? That's not even documented. Oh god, it's not in here either.
Whoops. So yeah, I've got some SNK stuff that I'm working with, but I don't have Yuzaku, and I want it. And if another board shows up, I'm gonna have to do something about it.
I'll monitor your YouTube channel because I'm sure you're going to probably do a video on that at some point in the near future.
On Adventure, yeah, I'm gonna definitely do a live stream.
And
when
then
that comes. I did a live stream for another SNK game I got, Space Mycon. So
let's see. Didn't you we've already kind of looked at the games you have, because I was gonna have a question in there. Games you have that Galloping Ghost does not have, and there's a lot.
yeah. That means Galloping Ghost always has something else to add.
Yeah. How did you learn how to fix the arcade games?
I just learned it over time, over experience. The first game I got as a project was Astro Fighter, and it had a Geo7. So I just learned over time. Oh, it's a Geo7. The flybacks usually die on that, so replace it. And I did the typical Geo7 thing, which is taking the chassis out and zapping yourself on the filter cap. Wasn't very fun. It's like getting tased. But yeah, just experience, looking things up, understanding. There's a lot of threads on Clove that people have come across the same kind of issues, and that's helped a lot. Just experience over the years. I really got serious in collecting probably around 2019. It wasn't because of COVID or anything. I didn't have anything to do. I just had more money then, because I had a job at that point, and what am I going to do with this money?
Buy some video games, collect them, fix them.
Yep.
So what are your gaming feats? While you're collecting games, how good of a gamer are you in the scoring community?
People don't want to play with me. I don't think I'm getting on Arcade Animals anytime soon.
Funny thing.
I asked about that. I asked him about that. I was like, "Hey, do you think I'm good enough to get on the show?" He said, "You're not. You're too good." I'm not great. I'm not like.
Guess what? I got a surprise. Let me see if I can get this up here. Oh, PowerPoint. Get that PowerPoint back up here. Get that PowerPoint back up here. I got scoot. I did send an audition. I did call the 1-800 number.
Oh, really?
They used my promo in episode number 6.
Oh,
wow.
Well,
what?
Wait. Are you going?
100%. There we go. Guess who's on the show in a couple of weeks? These two guys. I have Arcade Animals, Winners and Losers on the podcast Thursday, October 24th. So, yes,
very nice.
I'm stunned that I was able to grab these two, but since I was on the show recently, they released more episodes, and they just did an arcade. Yes, I know. You know what they could do? They could have me and you, the both of us on the show, and then we just go head to head.
That would be pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest. I have too many arcade machines. If I won, I would give the other person the machine if I won. I just like competition. I never had a person as a kid. I never had like a person who would want to like play against me in games. I just never had that kind of person to play games with. So every time I get the chance, I take it.
I think you've been perfect for Galloping Ghost's annual T20 tournament.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that.
Although they cover all 5 decades of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pinball Expo's next week. and I'm sure they've got some. Do you own any pinballs? Do you own any pinball machines?
I own one EM, but I do play a lot of pinball. I suck. That's I work at an arcade. Well, I don't work. I guess I fix the games there. It's not my day job, but there's a lot of pinball machines there that I go and I play. Like they have Doctor No and they have a Whirlwind and they had an Adams Family, Indy 500 because Indiana, of course, they'd have Indy 500. And I grand champion to that game, which made me feel good until someone used the buy-in feature to take it from 2 billion to 9 billion. That was pretty dumb.
Well, that's cheating.
Yeah, I was like, we got to disable this feature. This is dumb. That's pay to win right there. Yeah. But I still have Grand Champion on Dr. No. But no, I'm actually really bad at pinball. I just had a couple lucky games, but I do love it. It's fun.
So Calvin Ghost was next week's the Pinball Expo. I was supposed to defend this title. Now this was on arcade games, not pinball. Gosh, I can't get this mirror effect. Because I'm looking at myself on the screen, and I think it's a mirror, and it's not. It's the same as if you're looking straight at the person. So this keeps throwing me off because it's not a mirror. It's an opposite mirror. I was supposed to defend this title next week, and it's not pinball games I would be playing. It would have been arcade games, so it was like the Super 7. Whatever games they brought to the expo. Last year, they used to bring a ton of games to the expo, and it's been kind of decreasing year over year. Last year, they only brought 10 games. Well, I got there Thursday. I practiced all 10 games because they were going to pick 7 for the tournament. All I practiced, nobody else showed up to practice the games.
Ooh.
Nobody else did. Now, Chloe Gwynn was in the tournament last year. Who's in the chat. Andrew Owasco, who's a 2-time Goblin Ghost Gamer of the Year, participated, and then another gentleman, Brian. Because I learned all the games, and because there's some of them, there's a few I was familiar with, but they brought really obscure games like the horizontal version of Cubert's Cubes, which nobody knew existed.
That's kind of cool.
Then other games like Alligator Hunt and Snacks and Jackson.
I'm apparently really good at that game.
Yes. Crime City. What else was there? They did have Rampage, but that was not in the tournament. Skullfang. There's some others. So I basically, wow, Death Braid, which is kind of a ripoff of King of the Monsters. A lot harder too. I did not enjoy that one.
I'm wondering if Death Braid was an English accident, or if that's correct.
The East game is by Data East. It did have another name, Mutant something. Good grief, it's hard. So, Rob Burke, who has, and I don't know if you've been to this place, Pastime in Youngstown, Ohio. Have you been there?
I need to go there. I've been telling myself. I was actually going to do it last year when I first opened, but I've just never been able to make it out there. I'm always super busy. That's why it took me like a year and a half to go to Canada. But no, they have a lot of crazy stuff that I need to go and just play. I just need to go there and try some games out. They have a Vega.
Vega? Okay.
Yeah.
Not Sega, just Vega. So, yeah. Well, they have like 600 to 700 games in there, pinball and arcades combined, but they got a long way to go if they're going to catch Galvin Ghost because they're over 1,000 now.
That's still super impressive. Like, I only have like 90 games. And I know I'm one person, but even if I like fund a building in an arcade, I don't think I'm touching 200.
No. Yeah, 90 games would be pretty crazy to keep up on running on one property.
Oh God, yeah, especially with this stuff I have. There's no documentation for.
Yeah. Anyway, gaming feats. Gosh, what else? I guess we covered that. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to anything else to add up to that, like world records or.
I mean, apparently we have like a little weekly tournament in the overtime server, that I kind of like wanted to make happen because tournaments are fun, right? And Snacks and Jackson, apparently it got picked, and I was halfway to the world record just with my score. I'm like, well, I would love to play this on an actual machine because I had to play it on a mouse. Mouses or mice, I guess that's the correct word. That was awful. I need a trackball.
Maybe we can get you Ghost, and then you can attack the score there because
I need to take more trips out there. I've been there once. I was there once in 2019, but no, I need to go back there.
Yeah, because it's much bigger. The arcade world record is 227,000. That was performed at Rich Knuckles' place.
Wait. You say 200?
227,000. Let me share the screen.
Let me go check and see what I might have. Okay, well, in that case, let me just check and see if I already beat it.
There it is.
That's gonna be funny.
That's 2011, though.
I thought the world record was like 400.
Now, Twin Galaxies might be a different number, but this is arcade.
Maybe. That's the one I use. I use arcade. Arcade is pretty good. Yeah, food fight. I see that.
Another question. Do you have a trading card yet?
Say that again?
A Walter Day trading card.
Oh, no, I don't.
Would you like to get one at some point?
Sure. Sure.
All right, Todd Freeman. And plus, Todd Freeman's working on that project. Walter Day is supposed to unveil 130 new cards next week. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I have 2 trading cards so far. Say your hook on this would be basically the collector of the rare and obscure or games that were rescued from the ravages of time. I think that would be pretty interesting. Posing in front of one of these games that you rescued from the abyss. Any upcoming events you're going to be at? What have you?
What's upcoming? Depends. I always go to LAX. LAX is pretty close. Now LAX isn't California. It's Louisville Arcade Expo, and that's about a half year out. So, that I always go to that. What is upcoming?
Well, apart from the Pinball Expo next week, Midwest Gaming Classic in April, There's probably other. Gosh, there's a whole daggum Facebook page on upcoming gaming conventions. Around the Midwest, it's going to be a while after the Pinball Expo. There might be little things around in the Midwest, but I'm not sure. There's
Yeah.
multiple events happening in Texas in the next few months. I couldn't tell you the names of them, unfortunately.
I might try. I've been neglecting to do it, but I might try to go to the next California Extreme. That's a plane ticket, and it's California, so I'm not going to have any money by the time I return. And I just need to go to more. I need to go to more expos and conventions and stuff. With the way my work is, it's really difficult to make time for that.
Now you said you worked in you work in an arcade now?
That's actual. That's a side thing.
Oh, okay.
My other job is more demanding than that.
Yeah. All right. I guess any oh gosh. We've had past stories about raids. We know about the story in West Virginia. Anything comes to mind from the past raids?
There was a raid before that one that I did.
Mm-hmm.
There was a raid where, I don't even know if I'd really consider it a raid, but somebody on Facebook Marketplace said, "Hey, I got a bunch of free arcade games. Come clean them out. I'm in Corbin, Kentucky," and I'm like, "Free arcade games? They came with the house you bought. Good job, first of all. Why do you want to get rid of these for free?" So I messaged the guy. What kind of games we got? We got Final Fight, Speed Buggy, Galaga 88, Street Fighter 2, Stargate, Punch Out, It Gets Better, Asteroids, Junior Pac-Man, and Univores. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I saw the first picture, it was Univores was in the back. I was like, browsing. I was like, man, someone's going to get a good deal. But then I saw the Univores, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing. I see, cool. So I messaged the guy, and I'm like 3 hours away, which actually isn't that bad. But he basically said, "Oh, you're coming from 3 hours away. You can stay in your state. I already got someone coming." I'm like, "Oh, I want to burn the bridge so bad, so bad." Money would not convince this guy. So I just said, "All right, fine. Do me a favor. Whoever picks these up, this is my number. Give it to the guy. I want to give him the money you're not taking." So so he does it.
Wow.
And the guy calls me, and we work out a deal. And unlike the Virginia raid, these weren't hacked up. These were all like Punch Out worked, the Univores worked, the Stargate worked, the Galaga 88 worked. I'd say about 7 out of 9 games were working. So I paid about, let me think, because I gave the Punch Out to the guy at the arcade that I help out at. I paid $1,700 for 8 of the games, and then I sold. I think I sold like 3 of them, and I made way more than my money back. But yeah,
Wow.
that was pretty cool. That was a lot of shenanigans to go through to get those too, because we have a box truck that's, I think, on its last leg, but we made the trip. It all worked out. So I think the Univores is probably one of my favorite gets.
I wish I had a way to haul games, but I don't. I got my I got a Toyota Prius, and I still have the Geostorm from when I won the 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge.
That's pretty
For
cool.
some reason, I'm still bitterly clinging to the Geo. I don't know why.
Well, I'll be honest. I used to haul games in a Jeep Cherokee from like 1993.
I don't think I can kick him in my doggone Prius.
It kind of looks funny with a machine sticking out of the hatch, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You know, if I had a van or an SUV or a pickup truck, it'd be better. But you know, I don't know.
I had to work my way getting a truck.
Well, someone's offered to buy the Geo for a gaming museum, so I'll have that gentleman on sometime in the future, next few months. Who knows? All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Gosh, yeah, I think we cover everything we need to cover. I hope we did. I know we had all the connection problems and stuff, but
yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why that was happening, but
King Cam says, "Yeah, you got to the end."
Be a problem with the computer.
Oh well, we just deal with it and do the best we can and technical support and crap, but
it happens.
Yeah. All right, Taylor. I'm glad you were able to join me today, and maybe we'll have you back. And if you'd like, get another big game acquisition that you want to tell the world or share it with the world, but you kind of revealed one that you say you couldn't have, you weren't supposed to tease to the world, but thank you for showing that. Even though, give me a
there's a chance that'll be public soon.
All right. Yeah, he's wondering how he's got his own podcast tomorrow, but it's a different topic. Another gamer from Goblin Ghost.
That's cool.
Anyway. All right, Taylor, thank you.
Was a pleasure.
Well, come up to Goblin Ghost sometime and let me know when you're coming.
For sure. And if you ever find yourself in my area, let me know.
Where's your area? I know it's Indiana, but which part?
Just slightly southwest of Indy, or not southwest, southeast of Indy. I'm in the boonies. Oh, it's not the boonies, it's the plains, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
Well, some people say my city's in the middle of nowhere, but you know. So southeast of Indianapolis, okay. I know there's a big arcade in Indianapolis. I've never been there, but you know.
Is it Galp or not Galp? Boss Battle?
Been to? Where are some of the big arcades you've been to? You know, you did Galloping Ghost once, but what about Indiana?
Galloping Ghost. I've been to the Corbin Pinball Museum. I've been to Fun Spot, and there's a few sprinkled out through in there. What was the most recent one I've been to? There's this arcade in Indianapolis that's only open on select Saturdays. It's the Pin Lodge. Admission's $10, and they have like 100 or so pinball machines in there. So that's cool. But I need to go to more arcades. It's just hard for me to do that.
You're young still. You're half my age. So you got a lot of time. Just, yeah, it's like I have to pick a weekend and go up to binge game.
Heck yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, it's a 3-day weekend this weekend. So I'm going to try to get up there. Get to the Ghost. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. All right, Taylor. Have a good night, and we'll hope to see you around the arcade soon.
Have a good night, man. This was fun.
All right. Good night. All right. That will do it for the Crimeycade now. I am going to raid the channel. Oh, yes, Pinball Expo's next week. If you haven't got tickets, well, you better get your... I guess you're going to have to buy them at the door now because pre-sales are over with. Gulping Ghost is not going to be there, but Stern's going to be there at least, and some new pinballs are going to get unveiled up there. So I am going to be in the booth with Paul Zimmerman, who's part of the Video Game Summit, which is in the Pinball Expo this year. So, yeah, he's going to be running his virtual pinball tournament. So I am going to raid a channel. I'm just going to find one to raid. Who am I going to raid? And also the Rock River Valley arcade tournament. Oh, let's go to this guy. So, Mega Retro Man, Paul Tessie, is playing the new Beyond Shadowgate, which just got released recently. So, I'm going to raid his channel. But next week, so I'm going to stop screen. Yes. Next week, I am not going to be streaming because I'll be at the Pinball Expo. So, we'll be returning on October the 24th. With the guys from Winners and Losers, and it'll be a fun time. We're going to talk about the game show and all that stuff, so it'll be fun, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, but until then, I'm Max the Cryfighter, and have a good night, everybody.